Welcome back to MLB 30 for 30. I'm Justin St. Peter.
And I'm Michael Hoeflinger.
Today we'll tell you about the Tampa Bay Rays. The Tampa Bay Rays are stacked at the pitching. They seem to always bring up a new pitching prospect every year, and every single one of them is good. Their ace, David Price.
Yes, definitely. Very star pitcher there. Everyone knows his name. Definitely top ace on there. He's an ace on any team he goes to. But he does have a pending contract situation, which small market like Tampa Bay, kind of hard to keep these guys. And they're known for trading their big-name players to rebuild youth again and again. And that's how they're consistently good each year.
Do you have any teams in mind that could possibly land David Price?
Well, you never really like to trade within the division, and the AL East is the most competitive division in baseball, so those other teams will definitely be looking for him, and especially with the Yankees and the Red Sox, they have money, and that'd be a very scary rotation if he went to either one of those. But it's kind of up in the air who's in competition, but I definitely see him going to a contending team. No team is going to trade for him just to lose him for the offseason.
Yeah, they've rumors been floating around for him the last year and a half, but he was a Cy Young pitcher 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. To go along with him, they have Matt Moore, Alex Cobb, Chris Archer, Jake Odorizzi, who they picked up in a trade. Jeremy Hellickson's out until May, though, so otherwise he would be in this rotation as well.
Yep, some young pitchers, as Tampa Bay is a very young team, and these are very quality pitchers. They're not household names, but you should learn these guys' names. They can compete with anyone, and definitely cheap right now. And in a couple of years, Tampa Bay is going to eventually have to ship them off, and they have just the best pitching coaching you can hear about. I've read articles about how good their routine is and how they just really teach young pitchers how to really mature at the pro level.
To go along with all that coaching, you have one of the best coaching staffs in the majors with Joe Madden, with all his defensive shifts, mm-hmm. and their pitching coaches, their hitting coaches. They get the most they can out of their lineup every night.
Yeah, these guys definitely teach well. Joe Madden, manager of the year contender every season. I mean, what you can do with a team that's like the smallest market in the majors, just really stellar job down there. Probably a candidate for manager of the year again, even if they don't make the playoffs. He's that good.
For the back end of their bullpen, they lost Fernando Rodney. They went out and got all-star closer Grant Balfour, who used to be on the Rays.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Grant Balfour definitely showed himself as a closer. He's going to be solid. Definitely going to close down many games for them. They expect to have the lead in a lot of their games as well, so he'll see some time. And just all around a very solid closer. Not going to be super expensive, but definitely worth the money.
Oakland fans are going to be mad. They lost Balfour Rage, which every time he came in, the crowd just went nuts.
Yes.
But they also picked up Heath Bell, who was an all-star closer a few years ago and has really struggled in Miami and Arizona the last few years.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough for him to come in and face the AL East with all those stacked lineups. Maybe not the proper place for him to regain himself, but he does have good stuff. When he was with San Diego, definitely a very good pitcher, and maybe if he can find that again, definitely be used to help close down games.
If any team can reclaim and make a pitcher good again, it's the Tampa Bay Rays. They've done it in the past. They can probably do it again, but Heath Bell, maybe.
Yeah, he's a question mark, but he has those good innings, he has those bad innings. He's just got to limit those bad innings.
All right, for the Tampa Bay's lineup, they made a big trade in the offseason before last year, trading their former ace, James Shields, and Wade Davis for mega prospect Will Myers.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's what the Rays do. They they build young guys up, and then when they get too pricey, they trade them and restart over again. And somehow they're competitive every year. And Will Myers is definitely that power hitter that they need, especially add some protection to Evan Longoria, who's a very good third baseman.
Yes, Evan Longoria is a all-star player for a very long time, a Gold Glover, had one of the most famous homers in MLB history when he hit it in the 162nd game to send the Rays into the playoffs in the bottom of I think it was like the 14th or something.
Yeah, it was late.
He is the Rays franchise, their hero, everything about him. he's Tampa Bay Ray forever.
Yes, he's probably the one guy that they don't expect to trade anytime soon. Kind of your build-around guy. They'll ship you pitchers, but it's hard to replace a Longoria.
They also went out and re-signed first baseman James Loney, who had a great year last year for them. He gets on base a lot, but there's not much power in his bat.
Yeah, no, every time I watch James Loney, I don't see him as the typical first base power hitter that other teams are accustomed to seeing. He's more of just kind of a get-on-base type of guy. But, yeah, good, solid first base signing. If you need a first baseman, he was available as a free agent and not going to demand top dollar by any means. So definitely a good signing for Tampa Bay, especially with the low market, small salary cap they have. So definitely can fit into that lineup towards middle, bottom order. So he'll give him some depth.
At second base, they have former All-Star Ben Zobrist, who, besides catcher, has played every position for the Tampa Bay Rays throughout his career.
Yeah, definitely a utility man that offers a little better bat than most utility men would do. But, yeah, kind of play him around. He could fill in for injuries if they need depth somewhere else. He's a good player. I could see him playing probably every infield position at some point this season.
And then in the outfield, they got Desmond Jennings and, to go along with Will Myers, as two young prospects that could have breakout years, and Matt Joyce, who they have listed at DH, but he's played in the outfield a bunch.
Yeah, kind of just lets some flexibility, use a guy at a DH to give a guy kind of a day off, but still not a full day off because they would be able to bat still. But definitely let him rest a little bit. And with the depth that the Rays have, you can rest players and you still feel comfortable that you can throw out a winning team.
And then to lead off, David DeJesus, former Royal and Cub.
Yep. Not a bad leadoff hitter. He has his streaks. He can make a ton of hits straight in a row. He'll catch fire. Then he'll go through slumps where he doesn't get on base as often. But David DeJesus, when he's on, he's a great leadoff hitter. Definitely set the table for the big bats coming up a couple batters later.
Okay, so for potential All-Stars this year, we have David Price,
Evan Longoria,
Grant Balfour,
and Will Myers. Some others may be able to sneak in with breakout years, but yeah, I think the pitchers and stuff definitely. Maybe you could put Matt Moore in there. He's a pretty decent pitcher. If he gets off to a good start, but definitely David Price. I think David Price will still be on the team at the All-Star time, so he will be a Rays representative, but could be a possible trade later on.
Yeah, Will Myers, they're expecting a lot of big things out of him, so it's not out of the woods for him to be an All-Star. Matt Joyce was an All-Star last year after a great first half and really fell off in the second half.
Yeah, I agree with that. We also got some bold predictions for the season. We both have pretty similar ones. I believe that they are going to be able to put pressure on the Yankees and the Red Sox, but just because of how strong that division is, it's just the second wild card may even be out of reach, just because those two teams are going to definitely compete for the division. I think the Rays will put pressure on them, but unfortunately they're going to have to come up a little short, probably a little devastating end of September.
Yeah, I think 4, possibly 5 teams will be over 500 in this really stacked AL East division. Because of that, I don't see the Rays making the playoffs. But with Joe Madden at the helm, you never know what could happen with them.
Yep, anything's possible. That guy is a phenomenal manager. Never disregard the Rays. Even if you look at their roster and say, oh, it doesn't look like they're that great of a team, they make them very good players.
Yep, and we are done in this podcast. Next up, we have
Atlanta Braves.
All right, thank you very much.